Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 5 Tips and Tricks for Careers in Athletics. I am your host, Dr. Morey Mossovitz, with my all-time best, most favorite, the most wonderful of all-time co-host, Jen Albanese. Hello, Jen.
Hello, I almost made you laugh.
Well, you started off like even before we hit the button, you're ready to start laughing.
I know. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast.
I know we have an amazing guest today.
Oh,
Ryan
and
Gumby.
such a good friend. We love him.
I know, Henry, who is doing awesome things. He's always been super creative. So for all those people that are interested in, entertaining, creative people, he is one of them for sure.
Oh my God. And he has so much information to share, and he's so creative and doing such good things with Sidearm. And really, we enjoy working with him. We've worked with him in a lot of different aspects over the years. And so he's such a great guy, and I'm so excited to chat with him. So
before we jump into that,
yeah,
we were talking about things, and I said, did you ever get the Netflix original red envelopes by mail?
Didn't.
I feel like that's like a whole part of our generation.
I lived a sheltered life, clearly, Morey.
They
very
didn't
sheltered.
Mail you the DVDs to your house, and you send them back.
First of all,
I did it in college.
Have you met my parents? Do you think they were doing that? No.
Would you have a VHS taste all 100%, during that?
100%. Record 100%. No, I never did the subscription like that. But now, you think about that's your whole thing. That's all.
That's how you get all your
watch
entertainment.
Everything. It's all subscription based. It's so funny. Now, what did we say? We only have maybe we don't have one or two of them.
I don't have Peacock. That's the one I don't have. I don't know why. Not anything against them, but I just
yeah,
the one that I don't have.
I don't have Peacock. We don't have HBO. We don't have.
Oh, so we have HBO.
Yeah, we don't have that. I don't have Paramount Plus.
Have that.
But there you go. But we have the Netflix, and obviously with kids, Disney Plus and Prime and Hulu and all of that. It's crazy.
Disney Plus and Hulu are merging. So every day.
Well, isn't it Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus? Obviously, all of that's all under one umbrella. But you think about that, that's how you get and watch everything.
Not too long ago was that cable box, and you had to hit everything, and you don't know when you're getting it.
We still have cable, but it's through an app, which is what it is. Because there's some sports stuff that you can't watch.
Yeah, Yes Network.
We're Yankee fans on this side of the house, and
Yes Network needs to hop onto some other platforms. I feel like
they're saving the cable networks, and that's it. But maybe we'll see if we can get somebody from Yes on here, and they'll tell us all about it.
Explain why they're not on other platforms.
Why they're not on any other platforms, but. Yeah, it's interesting that's. I can't even imagine when our kids are older. I don't even know.
It's just going to be implanted in their eyeballs. They won't.
Oh my God,
yeah, it's going to be some weird thing.
There's something to be said about when you used to record things, when you were a kid, or even
if you said to our parents, hey, you're going to watch everything on your phone, they're going to be like, what do you mean? It's going to be plugged into the wall. How am I going to watch stuff on my phone?
Exactly.
It just changed everyone's life. So the eyeball is next. Watch out, kids. It's coming for your eyeball.
Oh my God, that's scary. Okay, that's very, very dramatic and scary. But it's you don't even watch anything live anymore except sports. That's really the only thing you watch live. Everything else is it's not live. Maybe award shows, but not much else. So.
Not much. Well, with that excitement, you got to bring Ryan in, and we'll have him after these messages.
Are you a loyal 5 Tips and Tricks podcast listener? If not, now is the time to start. Get all your info and fun content on the podcast by following us on all our social channels at @AthCareerPod. The 5 Tips and Tricks podcast is a part of Athletic Career Consulting. Make sure to reach out to us. The one-stop shop for everything is our website, www.athcareer.com. Remember, follow and like us on @AthCareerPod, rate and review us, and get all your info at www.athcareer.com. Okay, everybody, welcome back. Morey, would you like to introduce our guest for today?
Absolutely. A web designer and content creator, this gentleman is full of talent and energy. A 2011 graduate of SUNY ESF, he was a Syracuse superfan during his college years, bringing excitement and positivity to the student section. He went on to become a cheerleader and volunteer at the SU Spirit program and was also a driving force behind the creation of ESF's mascot, Okie the Acorn. After completing his degree, he spent over 3 years working at the Carrier Dome in event management and operations. During his time at the Dome, he contributed to several areas, including head of guest services program, liaison to the student section group Autos Army, graphic designer for all staff credentials, day of game credentials, wall sign design, promotional items, employee documents, as well as website manager, where he modified and uploaded all content for carrierdome.com. That drew him into what he is currently doing at Sidearm Sports, where he has been for the past 9 years as a website designer, helping to create online digital experiences and images for some of the most iconic college athletic brands in the country. Very excited to welcome Ryan Gumby Henry. Welcome, Ryan.
Wow. What an intro that was. Holy cow.
I worked hard on that, Ryan.
I forgot like all the stuff that I used to do. Like,
Yeah,
wow,
you did a
that was
ton.
a blast from the past.
It's impressive. It's impressive here. Come on.
Thank you guys for having me. Very excited to be on. Just love what you guys are doing with the podcast. It's awesome to kind of be back into the athletic space. Like Sidearm, we touch it. We touch all the brands and everything like that. But I'm not like in it like I was when I was at the Dome.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's kind of fun to hear all the experiences and everything like that. And so I think I got some good tips for our listeners out there today. And I'm looking forward to this conversation that we're going to have. We go back such a long ways.
Yeah.
When I was a student, Jen, I called her marketing girl because she was just always there. She had some stuff for me. We were always kind of like linking up, trying to get some free stuff. You know, the broke college kid trying to get up there. So
I always could find a good giveaway. As always,
we go back a long way.
We do go back a long way. I know.
A really fun time tonight.
And then Ryan, you and I worked at the Dome very closely together for many years.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. There's too many changeovers. I think there was one Monster Jam, Morey, where we were just picking up.
I think both you and I were ready to pass out at the end of it. We're just ready to like be on the ground.
Yeah.
But we still get to work with you because you help with replay. You're known in the world of athletics as one of the best replay guys in all of college basketball. So we appreciate that.
Yeah, you had Debbie on earlier.
Yeah,
Debbie. She's kind of my boss.
Debbie.
Right?
Love Debbie.
That was super fun. Yeah, I've done the replay for like 14 years now since I worked at the Dome, and I love doing that. I got to do that at the ACC tournament for the women's and men's.
Yes,
that's just really something cool. So
that's right. That's right.
It's a lot of hats. So
yeah. Oh, and on top of it, Jen and I put out a survey and said, "What do people want to hear about?" And then people are like, "They want to hear about graphic design and websites." And we said, We've got a guy that can give advice across athletics. And so, Ryan, this is you. Okay, man. Number one, what's your advice for everybody out there?
So your intro tees this up perfectly. So my number one thing is show variety in what you do, wearing lots of hats. So, and you can see it in everything that I did when I was at the Dome or what I do now. Like, you have to be able to show variety in who you are and what you can do when it relates to design or anything like that. So you said it, Morey. I did credentials, I did website stuff, I did like stadium graphic stuff. Like, there were so many things that I did. I think one time I got asked to do a billboard for one of the largest weekends that SU Athletics had. So showing variety in what you do, like, just provides this layer of that, like, you can do it all and that you can be successful no matter where you go or how you navigate through this, because you can do credentials, you can do social graphics, you can do stadium graphics. Like, all of that is all tied together, right? We're all kind of working for the brand and for the system that is kind of being created through creative and all that stuff. But you have one singular brand when you're at a school or when you're at a pro team or anything like that. And then there's branches that kind of splinter off of that, and you can build just through the singular brand and doing things in variety. I think is my number one tip. I think that is so important, to just be able to kind of do multiple things and wear multiple hats.
And it makes you so important to the operation because it's something that you can rely on. Like, you can go to Ryan and say, hey, I need help with this. And it's a guy that's going to, like, even if you don't exactly know exactly how to do it, you're going to put the effort in to figure it out. You're going to use those core skills that you've developed. And that's what it is. It's like skills, right? It's things that you might not necessarily have like done exactly the same way, but you're going to take this experience and connect it to that and be that go-to person that people are looking for, which is something so solid across the world of athletics.
I think that's like my journey in my professional career too, right? I started in landscape architecture. Like, I'm not doing landscape architecture.
Right.
And that's definitely not what I did when I worked in game management and stuff like that, or what I do now in web design. But everything kind of leads to one another. And I still think that landscape architecture relates to web design. Instead of moving and putting a bush here or a tree there or a paver there, you're still kind of placing a photo gallery here, a story here, anything like that. So it's all about how you arrange stuff and how the user's journey through the site and the space and all of that stuff. So I believe there's similarities. I think some of that stuff always translates across the board. Like, we always are picking up a skill, and then it's always going to just stack and stack and stack and stack on top of each other on how you kind of progress through life.
That's so unique and important. I think people don't realize, like, any experience you're learning from and you're using that in your next experience. So even if you think, oh, this has nothing to do with what I want to do in the end or what my end goal is, you're going to take something from that and you're going to learn from that and you're going to use that in your next step. So I think that that's really good for people to hear, is where you start might not be where you end or like what that end goal is, but that's okay, because everything's going to help you get better at what you want to do. So I love that you said that.
And I think those kids out there that are working, or people that are out there working, like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Like, Ryan's exact answer to this. It's like, have a positive attitude, be like ready to go and be engaged. And like, at the end of the day, you're going to find like that connection and bring everything together. So
that's perfect. I love that.
It's awesome, Ryan. Killing it. Okay.
All right.
Number 2,
I have a
Ryan.
segue. This is like a perfect segue. It's kind of similar, but it's a little bit different. Be flexible. Like, my nickname's gonna be, I'm not that flexible in my real life, but like, be flexible. Like,
yes, you are. You were a cheerleader. Come on, you were flexible. Let's go.
But it relates to being asked to do everything, that kind of like we did. Like, I could have been very much like, no, I'm a guest services person. I'm not going to do credentials, or I only do graphics. I'm not going to do changeovers. Like, that's not like how it works. Same thing in design now. I'm not just going to do websites. I'm going to slice. I'm going to get down and dirty. I'm going to like do promos if I have to. Like, you have to be able to be flexible and to be able to change. We're kind of like going through transition in things at work, and I think that there's a flexibility that needs to be had, and I'm seeing it more now, and I'm like, I have to be flexible. I have to be able to change into different thought processes and ideologies to like be better, right? So flexibility is key. And as you kind of work through all this stuff, as you design and as you do kind of more stuff, flexibility is key to ever-changing programs and your craft and everything like that. Like, Adobe Photoshop is not what it was when I started. It is so different. And I know so many people that will create in Photoshop. Even we use Figma at Sidearm to design our websites, and now we used to use Sketch, and we used to use Photoshop. In the 10 years that I've been there, I've seen 3 different platforms. And so you have to be able to be flexible in what you do. And the more flexible you are, the more valuable you become to your institution, to your 100%. Team, to anything like that. So again, I'm just, as I was saying, I'm just stacking tips right now, right? Like,
that's right.
Showing
Let's
variety,
go.
and now we're showing flexibility, so that like you can kind of keep putting yourself forward in your career, right? Like, in athletics, we see a lot of movement up the chain kind of thing. you don't get to move unless you have shown variety or shown flexibility or anything like that. If you don't show flexibility, you will be stuck in the mud, and you'll be stuck as a low level designer at a D3 school, and you want to be in a D1 school or something like that. Like, you got to be able to change and flex how you do things, why you do things, all of that.
That's so good because in sports in general, everything is always changing. I mean, even if you talk about college athletics, it's not the same as it was 2 years ago, let alone
Seriously.
2 months ago. So
Yeah.
everything is always changing, and to be able to be flexible in that environment and not like, I don't know. I want to say like you say, like, don't be a stick in the mud. Like, understand that being flexible is only going to help you. Is only going to help you move along with the times. So that's sports is ever changing. So being flexible is something that's going to need to be consistent forever and ever. Like, it's never going to stay the same. So.
And it doesn't
whether
mean
you're in sports or not in sports, right?
Right.
Like, too, like,
so true.
It's just a part of the work life that you have, no matter what.
Yeah.
What I was going to say is it doesn't mean that you have to like do other people's jobs for them when they say flexibility. Because some people are like, oh, if someone asks you to, it's building skill. It's building thought process to say, how might I be able to do this differently? Or let me be open to other ideas and things that you can do, and use that knowledge base you have to implement that. So it doesn't mean that you're just like willy-nilly. Because I think a lot of people might think, oh, well, that it just means that they don't want me to do what I always do. And that's not true. I think what you said, it's right. It's about being open to advance and change and move with what's happening around you.
Yeah.
And I know Jen and I've had like conversations 100 times, like where you're just with these people that are just like, okay, they have no interest in trying anything different. And it's not that it's there's value to things that have done before, but take what you've done before and be like, how can I advance that? How can I do it a little differently? I think that's exactly what you're saying is be open to say, what can I do more and what can I do differently?
When I'm designing websites and I've designed, and I'll name drop because I don't like, when I've designed Texas, when I've designed Baylor, I've designed Michigan, I've designed Florida, like, these programs, they are the top level programs,
right?
Design Qs, right? Like, those are the Michelin brand standards of college athletics. Everyone knows them across the board, and you can go to France, Italy, wherever, and know Texas.
They'll know who they are.
That's just who they are. These schools I'm always trying to push the boundaries in my design and everything, because I want to create something that allows flexibility in what they do as well, right? If we're going to push storytelling, we're going to push NIL now, we're going to push video content. Like, we need to be able to show that in a more appeasing and user-centric way. And so that's kind of where, like, you have to get them outside of their comfort zone too, because now, like, between brand sponsorships and advertising and all of that stuff, that's important. That's money for these institutions. And so you have to be able to kind of figure out ways to kind of do this, massage the client to get to a point that, like, is good for everybody. And allowing flexibility in that is just like another way that, like, it's really important in what you do and who you are, because then it shows that if you can be flexible, then you can, like, create flexibility in other things that you do as well.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
Killing
good.
it, Ryan. Okay, number 3.
All right, this is more of my design one. So this is where being creative comes in and everything like that. Discover everything, and don't get stale. So when we're looking at creativity as a whole, you're not just looking at other social posts that people have done, or other NIL things, or other signing day content that people have done. Look into nature. Look into typography, look into architecture and everything like that. Creativity is not bound by just what you see on a computer or what you are ingesting every day through social or through YouTube or anything like that. It is in the world, like, around you. Cars are creative, buildings are creative, like typography and font on I'm literally looking at a diaper box in front of me, but a diaper box is important, right? Like, and all of that can lead into how you create something, how you change your mind, and how you see something one day and put it on paper or put it into your computer, and then it comes out with something really, really cool. The way we rearrange things on websites is almost similar to the way, like I said, we rearrange stuff in landscape. How we create structure is similar to how we create structure in architecture, and then why there's hierarchy, why newspaper print is large, bold font, and then body text. It's how you hierarchy and how you read things and how you ingest things. All of that is important on how you discover it all. So I am one of my biggest influences is one of my neighbors at work. His name is Cavi. He is a wonderful designer. He does a lot of golf brand stuff, so that's right up my alley. As you can kind of see
there
back
you
here.
go. There you go.
But he is so good at discovering and finding inspiration in the littlest things. It was like a Matchbox car that was orange that created like a whole new brand that we're going to start internally using at Sidearm, just so that we can design and make fun stuff look good internally. And it's a Matchbox car. Like, we don't think of that. Like, but that discover
awesome.
everything that then turns into something, you know? So don't get stale, push the boundaries, and just like be a sponge for what the world has around you, because you just never know what will strike that inspiration. I love fonts. I think that's the coolest thing to kind of work with right now. That's my like one niche right now. But like I said, it's everywhere. And I think that as creative, that's like the biggest thing, that like keep ingesting everything that you see. Like, I truly love where you get to work with them a lot, but like the people that do the inside design work for college athletics, like when they're designing a player's locker room or the like entryway for a facility, like I think that is like some of the coolest stuff, because it feels athletic, right? And it feels like that's where it's meant to be. And I think that is like one of the coolest things to like look at and visually take in. So yeah, I just think discover everything is really like key and important as a creative, because you just never know what you'll find that will just strike something in you, and then you'll be like some of your best work. You know, it's really cool.
It makes me think about, like, as a client, you don't really want someone that's just copying what everybody else is doing.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
One of the things that I like when you were talking about like engaging with people that are, you know, doing the interiors work or doing like the branding stuff in the facilities. And like one of the things that's big to me is like, how are you going to make us different or stick out? Like, still take the essence of who we are as an institution, but just do something in a different way that draws people's interest. And like, I think it's the same thing for you. Like, you have to find that inspiration in the world and like bring that in. And if you're just copying everyone else's socials or everyone else's format, it's not really, it's not moving the needle. It's probably not bringing you the attention that you're looking for in doing all this work you're putting together.
Yeah. I think one cool thing is like Syracuse Athletics, right? Cuse.com, design done by me. And we kind of had some new ideas and how some humble brag, I guess, right?
Designed by me. No biggie.
But like, we kind of had some thought process, some ideas, and what's one of the biggest sites out there that you take in content in on daily is Netflix, right? Like, you view Netflix on a daily basis, and it's an off-screen scroll, and you're used to that pattern, right? Like, you're used to seeing that pattern when you're taking in content. But you're not necessarily used to seeing it on what is a news sort of site where you take in pre-game stories or post-game stories or anything like that.
It's not a traditional sports website.
But we sort of started to blend that to do like the way that it kind of feels is like Netflix-y a little bit. And so I think there are some ways to improve on that. I think there's been some ways that we've done that since that design. I think we'll get, another redesign, we'll get better at it. But I think one of those things where like you learn and you see, and I took a lot of inspiration from Amazon Prime, from Hulu, from Netflix, on how like we would kind of create that style. And that's just, something that then a lot of other schools, Texas has copied that, others, to like try and
Yeah.
because people are taking in content a different way
Right.
nowadays. YouTube is so big, video is so big. You don't view video on a 1920 by 1080 screen anymore.
Right.
No.
You view video
On your phone.
on your phone.
Exactly.
So you have to think about that differently. And so that's just, again, you're discovering everything. And like I said, how do you view your phone? How do you view text in the world? Do you even look at a newspaper? Do people even read newspapers anymore? Right. But like, it's still such a lost art of like typography and all that stuff. So it's really cool. Like I said, my friend Cavi is phenomenal at it, but the experience is what like makes it.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh,
Love it.
shout out to Cavi and all
I
his
know.
interesting
I
things
know.
are pretty
There
cool.
we
We appreciate that. And I think we're on number 4, Jen. You keep me honest.
Number
Perfect.
4. We are number 4. There you go.
All right. This is the hardest one for me, I think, and I think it's really important. As someone, I was pretty soft skinned, I would say, but like you have to learn how to take criticism the right way. And so I think when you are a designer, you're very much on an island, right? There's some collaboration and stuff, but you get to a point where you have ownership over a certain design that you're doing, a certain website that you're doing. And early in my career designing websites, I had a lot of feedback given to me from a lot of people that have done websites a lot longer than me. And I didn't know how to take it. I thought it was a direct like criticism on me as who I was as a designer, as a person, all of that stuff. And it's not. It was very much, and it was very hard on me, but it was because they saw talent in me and then didn't want that to go to waste by doing lackluster designs and sitting stale and not pushing. And I think that's what's created me to be one of those ones that tries to push the boundaries, is because I got pushed hard early. But to say that it was easy wasn't. Like, criticism as a designer is hard. You put a lot of time and effort and ownership into a graphic, into a website, into a social post, into a social strategy. And to have someone criticize that or make notes or pick at it is really hard. And you have to find the little nuggets that you can constructively use to become better. So just like I said, variety and flexibility stacked these skills that made you better. So does criticism in the right way. Criticism the wrong way can still make you better, but I think that most people in a department, anything like that, are working towards a singular goal to be the best department that there is, or to be the best part of who they are. They don't want to put out lackluster, bad stuff, right? Everyone wants to put out good stuff. And so when criticism comes, it is to become the best version of that. And so I think you have to be able to be flexible, to be able to change, and to be able to to really like blend how you take that and move forward, but then also reflect on who you are and know that like next time I don't need to do that. Next time you're trying something, and again, I want you to try something. I want you to discover everything, but it may not work for this one. But maybe a good example may not work for football, but guess what? Basketball strategy is this, and you can run with it in basketball, right? Like, because this, like, you have umpteen more games, you have less opportunity in football, like big media is football, smaller media somewhat in basketball. I'm using generalities, but you know what I mean? Like, and so I think that criticism is so hard because you feel like your character is being judged, you feel like you're being judged.
Yeah, it's something, it's like a part of you, it's your ownership of it. So when someone's saying it, you sometimes look at it as a personal thing. And like two things, all those people that are supervisors out there or newly gotten some managerial role, like how important is it about how you portray that feedback or those comments? Because that other staff member is taking that in and, developing it. And I appreciate it so much about you, Ryan, because you're so passionate. And so like everything that you do you feel is a reflection of you. And so if someone might, like any times, not give you feedback in a constructive way, it can land hard, which I think is one of the rough things in the industry, is that sometimes people are pretty blunt and don't know like how to help younger professionals like get that piece of feedback that's helpful, and it might not be their intention. I've been through that before too, or even I made the mistake of, well, maybe the way I said that didn't land right with that other person, and I have to make sure that they understand it. So
it's hard in sports and in athletics. You're trying, there's a lot of interns, there's a lot of first year like working, and you believe that what you have done and what you have learned early in your career is the right thing. You don't know any better, right? And so when you get that like first, like, I don't say negative comment, but like feels negative, it cuts, it hurts. And so you have to kind of be able to like view that as like, it's not intentional, it's
not
to
personal
help.
It's not personal. And that's hard when you first, like you said, when it first happens. And I definitely can speak from experience, because when you work in marketing and game day, everybody thinks they know how to do that, and everybody has an opinion. Ryan, I mean, we've worked many a times and in a lot of different areas where I get a lot of feedback on game day, and the first couple of times you're taking it, it's like, oh, am I not doing this good? Am I not good? And it's like, you take it like to heart, like that it's you, but you have to understand that you got to take sometimes things with a grain of salt and what works best for your area, but be able to be open to it. I think that's what we're trying to get at. Like, be open to it, take it in, digest it, and find the best way to move forward from it. I think that's really important.
100%. And we've all worked for someone who's very strict, particular, right, kind of thing. We've all received criticism from that person, right? And if you do things right, then you get that praise, and you feel like it's the best moment. Like it's 1,000 times better than that. Like, I remember always making sure, like, and I go back, this is going back to like managerial of event staff days and stuff like that, but like having documents produced and out ahead of schedule where it didn't need to be asked for or anything like that, and taking pride in that, because then he never had to ask for it, they never had to think about it, it was already done, and all that stuff. But I got one time criticized on it, one time,
never happened again.
Never again, right?
But so then, it helped you in the end.
But that's like what makes you like better, best, moving forward, kind of thing. So take the criticism, learn from it, and be better for it. I know it's hard, but it's truly,
don't take it personal. Don't take it personal. Don't take it personal. It's hard to do, but don't take it personal.
Yeah.
Awesome. Ryan, you're killing it.
All
Jen,
right, last big one, Ryan.
Last big one.
So what do you know now that you wish you knew then? So what do you know now at this point in your career that you wish you knew when you first started?
I wish that I knew to not be afraid to fail, right? So I think when I first started early in my event management days, and especially early in my design days, I was very afraid to fail and to be criticized and to be thought of that I didn't belong. And that's not true at all. I think that failure is a part of life. It is a part of learning. And it is a part of growing into who you are and who you will become. And if you are afraid to, then you don't take the necessary risks to challenge yourself, to become better, to push the boundaries, and to, become like what you want to be inside, kind of thing. I think that was really hard at the beginning of my career in design, is that like I don't want to make a mistake. I
Right.
did
Right.
not want to make a mistake. I did not want to be wrong. I don't have a degree in web design, right? Like I am a senior web designer at one of the best sports athletic website companies in the world, but I don't have a degree in that. And I
Yeah.
felt that someone would judge me, that I didn't
Right.
belong in that. And so I didn't want to fail. I did not want to show that I didn't belong. So I didn't take risks. I didn't ask questions. I didn't make mistakes. And I just quoted Miss Frizzle. But like I just did the status quo, and I was stuck for a very long time doing the status quo because I didn't challenge it, because I didn't fail. Right. And I think I'm glad that I sort of did that, but I'm not. Like I would be further along, I feel like, right now, and I wouldn't have had those like hard times had I just like pushed it a little bit more and just wasn't like able to take that leap to be like, I need a site. Like I'm good at what I do, and I need a site. I need to be trusted in that.
Yeah.
But it was very much at that time like you work your way up, and when they say you're ready, you're ready. And everything sort of changed now, and our new employee, 6 months in, has already done like 5 sites. So like I didn't do 5 sites until I was in year like 4, so it's just so different. But like maybe if I wasn't afraid to fail back then, I would have had a little bit more under my belt. So don't be afraid to fail. I think it's scary to fail, right? Like you don't want to fail to the level of like topical as of like when
you
we're
don't want to be
recording this,
what everyone's talking on the
Illinois
office doesn't need to be talking about you the whole time, probably.
Right. We don't need to be Illinois right now.
Yeah.
Like, sorry,
Oh
Illinois,
my
but like,
gosh.
geez, like blunder.
Literally one of my greatest fears. Greatest fears.
Yeah. But you
greatest
have
fears.
to,
Just so everyone knows, Jen practices that like 10 times on the facility side. We literally have to try practicing it many times.
We literally practice it every single time, and I will continue to do it because that just proves that you need to practice it. Just practice it. Okay. Anyways, we'll move on.
So, but you can fail in like the small things and take those risks. And again, in design, risks are hard, right? You fall into certain patterns and certain things that people like. But to truly garner a reaction,
it can lead to the most success. You take the risks, it can get the most reward sometimes. You have to do it in like a thought out way, but if you do everything the same every time, you probably aren't going to get that result.
And I think it also pertains to your career movement, right? Like
absolutely.
To not be afraid to fail is also to take that leap that you maybe weren't expecting. I didn't know that I would ever really leave the dome. Like it was something that I enjoyed doing. I thought I was good at, and I didn't know that I had another passion and thought for a career after that. But an opportunity presented itself, and I learned, and I took that jump. It was hard. It's hard to leave people like Morey and Jen, right? But like, still get to be around them. Which is
you're
really
still
cool.
with us. You're still with us, Ryan.
But it's one of those things where like I knew that then I could touch a lot more brands than just Syracuse University or anything like that. So, how you again leap to taking that leap of faith is also really important in athletics and in your career and who you are as a person to be able to make those things and not do that. And I think early in my career I was a little bit afraid to fail, and wish I had that back a little bit, but I am not unhappy where I am at. I am very excited about the path that I went on.
That's right. That's right.
I showed variety. I showed flexibility. Discovered everything.
Like always,
I learned
Ryan.
how to take criticism.
It's always entertaining.
Crushed it. I love it.
Ryan, we have to thank you. This has been awesome.
This was so great.
As always, enjoying spending time with you. And I know our guests are going to enjoy hearing all of your tips and spending this time with us. So thank you. And I don't know, do you have any things? I know you're always doing something fun. You got something you want to shout out or something people to look at?
I think I'm going to try something creative for my personal branding at Gumby Cuse on Instagram this year with golf. I love golf.
Ooh, good golf.
Different. And so I've created 6 different logos, but they're kind of patches to kind of create the Gumby method of golf.
Let's go.
We're going to be doing some going through some new courses, breaking 75, some fashion
That's
stuff.
right.
Like
That's
just
right.
just stuff out there that like you don't have to just be creative in what you do to day. You can be creative in your outside life and use it to your personal brand or to your family. I'm very extra, like in what I do. We do ping pong tournaments at work. We do
If you people
fun
don't,
things at
you need to
home.
follow. You
Like
need to follow him on
yeah,
on socials. He's amazing.
so it's
so much
just be
fun.
creative in everything that you do, and I am extra because I enjoy making people happy as well.
Yeah.
And I know that like if I didn't do it, then no one would do it. And I want to like just wait till the Masters party that we put on at work. That's my favorite day.
We need the invite. We need the invite. Let's go.
Jen,
we need the invite.
Yeah.
I need the invite for that.
So.
Oh my God.
Yeah, very excited.
Awesome.
Thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you,
Keep
Ryan.
killing
We
it
appreciate
on
it.
this podcast. It's so fun to listen to and
Thank
hear
you.
all the different guests that you guys have. And I look forward to the growth of this. And don't be afraid to fail. Keep going.
There you go. Thank you. Jen, throw out our socials. Make sure everyone knows where to catch us.
Yes, absolutely. So make sure everybody's following us on at Ath Career Pod on all your socials and podcast platforms. Thank you, guys. This is the best. Ryan, thank you.
Bye.
Absolutely.
Bye, guys.
If you like the 5 Tips and Tricks podcast, make sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. You can rate and review us, including questions that may be answered on future episodes. The 5 Tips and Tricks podcast for careers in athletics is part of Athletic Career Consulting. Check us out at www.athcareer.com. Don't forget to follow and like us on your top social media platforms.